Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode number 264 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media. And got the big B on my hat today because look who be back. Lucas Giolito. Yeah. Well, I mean, holy smokes. Have you been living overseas? First of all, let's start with this thing on your face. My God. That's incredible.
Yeah, just letting it go a little bit. See how long I can get it.
I mean, that is awesome. This has got to be the longest it's ever been, right?
This is absolutely the longest it's ever been. I've been working hard with my barber. Shout out Nate up in Boston at Sims Barber Lab. Trying to get this thing moving in the right direction, get it full, but get it growing right.
There's no way you can pitch with that in the major leagues, can you?
What do you mean? I was teammates with Dallas Keuchel. His was like way longer than this.
So we're just gonna go let it eat all the way until next year. Keep going.
Yeah, unless I get tired of it, but it doesn't bother me. It's not like itchy or anything. I mean, I take care of it with the oil and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'd like to maybe have it fill out a little bit more here and get these sides going, and then you can really start to like shape it up and stuff. Right now, it's just kind of like messy.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully by like spring training season, we'll be able to shape it up nicely.
See, whenever beards get to the length that you're at right now, and I've had mine for a couple years, but I keep it very short. I really trim it at least once a week. Is it when it looks like this or looks a little like James Harden? I always feel like guys, like it's almost like a piece of clothing. Like you guys can take it off at the end of the night and hang it up on the wall, and then you put it back on. That's how it looks on your face. It's crazy. Does it feel weird?
Not really. I've had it for so long. I mean, I've been letting it grow for so long now. I almost feel like I don't remember what it's like to have it short. Like I'd usually have my beard more trimmed up short, like more like what yours looks like. But this is good for me. I mean, it hides the lack of jawline. So we're just gonna let it ride out a little bit.
Oh, my God. Well, the good news is you're not getting traded to the Yankees this offseason because that would really just ruin the shit out of everything, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. That would be tragic.
On many levels, I do believe. All right. Well, we caught up with you once during the season. I didn't want to bother you. It was a long year for you. So I just want to know where you are right now, kind of emotionally, mentally, as you hopefully head back into a healthy 2025. Where are we?
We're doing well. I mean, I'm on the mend, I guess. Like it was probably like the worst, despite me having some pretty rough seasons performance-wise, before free agency, and everyone still talks about 2018 and the commercial that lasted way too long. I don't know if you remember that commercial
Sure
about me being the worst pitcher in baseball. I'd say that this was like the worst season of my big league career by far. Just being on the sidelines, not being able to contribute is a terrible feeling to kind of carry around for the entirety of a season. But on the flip side of it, I'm more hungry than ever to get back out there and compete. I think that I've been in the big leagues long enough that the longer you do something, the aura around it can kind of dissipate a little bit. And like how special it is to be able to take the ball and compete, put a big league uniform on, all those things. It's like I kind of got used to it, whereas now I miss it like so fucking bad that I can't wait to do it again. So it kind of like brings that like hunger back. It brings that excitement back. So yeah, I mean, I've just been doing my rehab, man. It's boring. It sucks, but it's part of how it goes. With being a pitcher in the big leagues, like it's pretty much a rite of passage. You're gonna have like elbow injuries. I had the Tommy John many years ago, and then we just fixed it up with the internal brace. So just putting that work in and continuing that work here in the off season. I'm out here in Fort Myers at our spring training facility full time. It's pretty extraordinary actually being able to like work with the team staff on a daily basis. Like I get to go on a training table, get hands put on me. We're really able to do everything. Whereas like I'm used to an off season where I'm like on my own and I'm, going in before throwing, like just doing some bands, warming up, whatever it may be. Now it's like I get to get stretched out and work with our PT down here, Kevin, who's incredible. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
All right, more baseball talk coming your way with Lucas Giolito, but first a little blitzball talk. We are smack dab in the middle of the regular season. A lot on the line in each and every game. Here's a taste of the next episode. Blitzball Battle 5, a pair of winless teams going at it, trying to avoid playing in that loser's bracket, if you will. Team Baggage has never beaten Del Caribe. How are they going to get it done later today?
Well, I think they gained a lot of confidence in their last matchup despite the loss. One thing you can take with absolute certainty is somebody is leaving with a win from this one.
So Baggage hit the ball exceptionally well. They came up on the short end of the stick in their first game of the season. Del Caribe did not get a single hit against Forgotten Rotten.
Different matchup here today.
If we go back to every single tournament played in the warehouse, I think I've taken Team Baggage at every game they've played. They do not want that skunk patch.
I don't think I've got one right so far, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Del Caribe.
Why not?
Just to help you out, Kels, so that way everybody's happy.
I got Team Baggage. Stupidly, I picked them to win the entire tournament. I don't know what it is. I think I'm a moron. We will see you later today. We continue Blitzball Battle 5. So what is the prognosis? I mean, you blew out in spring training.
Mm-hmm.
With the internal brace, does that shorten your time span compared to Tommy John?
As far as like return to play?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way shorter of a rehab. The thing is where the time I blew it out and got the surgery, it was not enough time to be able to come back last season. But let's say the season started in like 2 months, I'd be able to pitch. So it's a shorter recovery time than Tommy John surgery, but it's still significant. But the big bonus that I love is that there's no restrictions. So you come back from internal brace surgery and you just get to like pick up where you left off. So it's not like, oh, you're allowed to throw 150 innings and that's the hard cap. Like, no, you just go and play. All
right. And so you should be ready to go once spring training starts. You'll be with the rest of the pitchers?
Yeah. Like when spring training starts, I'll be like full go. So I'm a healthy player getting ready for the season, just like any other year.
Is there trepidation? Like, have you been throwing the baseball like a normal player at this point?
Yes. Yeah. I'm on a strict throwing program. Like, it's very monitored. Like, you do 15 throws at this distance, then you do 20 throws at this distance, and it's over a period of time. Like, I just recently started throwing 4 days a week instead of 3 days a week, so it's a steady progression, which what I was saying earlier, like the time when I got the surgery allowed for that steady progression as opposed to like trying to get it going fast. So yeah, I'm like out to 100 plus feet, putting some good juice on the ball. It's been solid.
Is there hope that you will be throwing harder than you were before you got injured this time?
Well, I was throwing, I don't know if the fact that I was throwing pretty hard in spring training helped lead to the injury. Mm-hmm. I found a lot of velocity that off season, and in spring training I was more in like the 4 to 6 range, whereas the seasons before I was more in like the 1 to 3 range. So, and I changed the grip on my slider. I was ripping my slider at a much higher velocity. So if I can just return and like be at that but healthy, that'd be great. I'd be very happy with that.
Okay. I don't want to take you too much down the road of last year, but I am curious because we really didn't have a lot of discussions. Is how low was it for you? You said it was the worst year of your career. Were there days you were just like, I cannot believe this is where I am at this point in my career?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was rough days. Like there was times I was just like in terrible moods, like not gonna lie, just in like really negative. you know, uh, like not, I don't want to, the kind of stuff where it's like, I don't want to like get out of bed and go and do this, type of work. Um, times where like watching, like even being in the dugout and watching my team play was like hard.
Mm.
But it would kind of come in waves, and then there would be times where I'd be like more motivated. It's like, all right, cool, like let me go get all my work done and be a good teammate and cheerleader in the dugout. Like it was it was that back and forth. Overall, like you just got to maintain like faith in the process, and understand that given this is what we do for a living, and throwing a baseball over your head like this puts a lot of stress on your arm, and it happens. So um, another thing that I think was difficult for me to, I guess, process or grapple with is like, this is the most money I've made in my career, uh, by far, and this is the least amount of work I'm doing. Like it's literally zero work on behalf of the team. Like I'm getting paid to rehab. That's a shitty thing to deal with, because I've always seen it like I want to get paid for contributing. So I'm just putting the work in and doing everything I can to be able to contribute at a very high level next season, so that the Red Sox get their money's worth.
Yeah, but you know what though? I understand that, and knowing you the bit that I do, that has always been number one on your priority list. Is you always took pride, as much as anybody I've known in this game, of being there every 5 days. Maybe it's not going to go great every 5 days. You'd like it to, but you're there every 5 days. I mean, I understand why you beat yourself up over that, but retrospectively, doesn't it feel like it's not fair to do? I mean, you can't control when your arm's going to blow out.
Yeah, no, I mean, logically, it's not. This is what happens, and like it's a business. So, teams make investments on players, and sometimes the players get hurt. That's how it goes. Like, we have guaranteed contracts in this league. That's how it is. So, yeah, if I look at it logically, then it's fine. It's all good. That's how it goes. But sometimes you look at things from a more emotional aspect of your brain, and that's when you can put yourself in more negative spaces. So, I've done a lot of work to try and navigate away from that and just focus on like the here and now. Hey, I got this today. I got, this is my rehab work. This is my lifting, conditioning, throwing. All right, cool. Let's get that done. Have a good day.
Did you and Liam Hendriks, because you've been friends and teammates for so long, rely on one another a lot during the year?
Yeah, I mean, our lockers are next to each other, and I was always we were talking about how our elbows felt, and I'm proud. I'm kind of proud of Liam because I saw Liam doing like way more work in the training room than I've ever seen him do before. I don't think he enjoyed that very much, but considering he had Tommy John surgery, like you got to put that work in. Um, for him, he's always, and he, I don't think he'll get mad at me for saying it because he says it all the time. Like his program is to long toss, and that's it. He doesn't like doing certain things because he feels that they don't help contribute to his success. But when you're injured, sometimes you got to change the playbook a little bit, and you got to listen to the experts from the medical field. And yeah, it was cool to see him in the training room, like lifting weights and like doing exercises.
Good for him. That a way to get on board with the program. All right, more with Lucas Giolito coming your way, but first, you know what we all need a little bit more of? To get off our ass. With bold flavors and a refreshing citrus kick, Mountain Dew is going to get you off your ass and have you feeling like you're on an actual mountain. A mountain where the weather is perfect, your friends are ready to hang, and a day of epic proportions awaits. So here's what I want you to do. Walk on outside. Mix in equal parts fun and competitiveness. Go do a 3-point shooting contest, a longest drive competition, a putting competition, something with fishing. Maybe set up a monitor outside, throw on your gamer headset and do some video games. Play kickball, play wiffle ball, play blitzball, play pickleball. Invent a new kind of ball. I don't care what it is. Why? Because the mountain is calling and you should answer. So grab your friends, grab an ice cold Mountain Dew wherever refreshing beverages are sold, and do the do. I'm curious your thoughts about watching Shohei Ohtani dominate the way he did as a DH while recovering from essentially, it sounds like, the same surgery that you had. You must have a very different perspective.
Did they ever say if he got Tommy John again or if he got the internal brace?
No, they never really came out, but it certainly sounded like the internal brace. So whatever it was an arm surgery. But the fact that most human beings would have to take a full year to recover, and he's mashing 50-plus homers and stealing 50-plus bags and most likely winning yet another MVP. It must astound you based on what you had to do.
Well, I'm not astounded by anything he does anymore because he's the greatest player on the planet. And I got to witness it. I got to see it in person for a month when I was with the Angels. And I saw his work ethic. I saw how he goes about what he does, and it all makes sense. So I'm not astounded at all. From a medical perspective, the internal brace, at least in my experience, compared to Tommy John, is way less intense. They basically take, what's there, what you tore off your bone, whatever, and they put it back on and they brace it up. They put a sheath around it. It's a process just to take what's there and make it stronger. Whereas Tommy John is much more invasive because they take out the bad ligament, they drill holes in your bone, in two bones, they're or maybe four, they're drilling holes, and then they are taking a tendon, whether it be from your wrist or hamstring or whatever, and then they're wrapping it into those holes. So, and then your body has to accept that tendon and you trick it into thinking it's a ligament. So that's obviously much more intense. You have to recover from these holes in your bones and all this stuff. Whereas the brace, you already got the holes in your bones, you already got the ligament in there, they're just fixing it. So for me, in this rehab process, it's a lot less elbow pain. The soreness isn't as intense. When you start throwing again, you're not having as crazy of feelings in your elbow with scar tissue breakup and whatnot. It's still there, but it's not as crazy. So the idea of Shohei swinging a bat and running around with how good he is, I'm not surprised. Maybe that's not the answer you were looking for, but I'm not surprised at all.
No, I'm looking for the right answer, which is the honest one, and you gave it to us. But you're a Shohei fan. You must have been, having spent, even if you were just teammates with him for a month, were you jumping up and down when he became the 50-50 guy like the rest of us?
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. That was great. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't have to pitch to him last year. I guess that's one thing that's positive.
Don't worry, you'll see him. You'll see him this year. Yeah. All right, so you got another Harvard Westlake buddy that's got a ring in Jack Flaherty.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was awesome that you and Max went to the game, just like you and Jack went to Max's game in Houston in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Were you beaming with pride? Well, look at you guys. That's it. By the way, you make Max Fried, who's not a little guy, look like a shrimp. Jeez, man. Seriously. How much fun was that to go watch him in your hometown of Los Angeles?
Man, I look like a different person there.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible. It was very last minute. The game was on Friday. My girlfriend and I were planning on moving from Boston to Fort Myers on Monday. So we were in the process of packing and all this stuff. And the Dodgers get in the World Series. I'm talking to my agent and he's like, all right, so you're coming to the game, right? And I'm like, man, I don't know. We're packing. It's we got a lot of shit going on. I'm going to have my dad come down because I have to give him stuff. And I was thinking about it. It's no, we got to go. We got to go. So, booked the flight. We literally, Madeleine and I, we flew in Friday. We landed at 1, drove to the hotel, stayed downtown. drove to the hotel. Marissa, my marketing agent, she came and picked us up, and we went to Dodger Stadium. We got there early, got settled in. We were in like the MLB suite. Watched the game, hung out after the game a little bit, and then went right back to the hotel, went to bed, woke up in the morning, went straight to the airport, and back to Boston to pack. So it was like super quick. It felt very surreal, but it was like the most amazing experience, probably the coolest baseball game I have ever watched. If I were to remove like ones I was involved with, right? Like for me, I think another top one is the blackout game with the White Sox when we were in the playoffs. But that was the most sick game. The back and forth of it, Jack pitched great, which was a big positive because, if you fly all that way and if, he doesn't do well, then it kind of puts a damper on the situation, but he pitched fantastic. So, luckily we're able to go and see him after the game and everyone's in good spirits. But, going to extra innings and the grand slam, like it was really cool.
Were you and Fried sitting up there going, why the hell are they bringing in Nestor Cortes? What were they doing? Like, were you playing along like the rest of the fans?
Well, it wasn't just me and Max. There were a ton of players in the suite. So obviously we all had our own commentary, ex-players, players, and we're kind of like discussing amongst ourselves what's going on, how's this going to work out. And then I saw they had, I believe, Tim Hill warming up. So in my mind, it's like logical path here is there, I don't remember who was pitching at the time, but they take him out, they put Tim Hill in. It's like if you want to they walk Mookie to get to Freddie. I'm like, I don't know about that, but I remember when they're like walking Mookie, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't know if you want Freddie Freeman to hit with the bases loaded, but they're going to bring Tim Hill in, who's a lefty specialist. But then they brought Nestor Cortes out, and I'm like, damn, what the heck? And I'm a starting pitcher like Nestor Cortes. And for me, like being brought into that situation, it's like you got to be ready for anything. But considering he hasn't pitched in big league games for quite a while, and he's a starting pitcher and you're bringing him in extra innings relief with the bases loaded, like I thought that was an interesting move. The thing is, like, hindsight, right? If he struck Freddie out and got out of it and the Yankees won the game, then it's a brilliant move and it's awesome. But I just thought that and I think all the other guys I was talking with in the suite kind of thought like, oh, they're going to go to Tim Hill here. So yeah, it was crazy how that worked out.
So who'd you hang out with up there that you maybe didn't know really well, but you were like, this is kind of fun. Got to know him. That's cool. Anybody?
I feel like I knew a lot of guys in there already.
You
Yeah.
big leaguers, y'all run in the same circles. So show. So this is kind of neat. You've got two buddies now that have started the clinching games. Flaherty did not pitch well in Game 5, but they came back and won that thing. Was the Yankees were kicking the ball all over the infield, and Max Fried, I believe,
doesn't matter. You just win in the playoffs,
exactly.
Man. It don't matter.
And then Max Fried started, I believe, Game 6 of the series where they clinched in Houston, didn't he? Isn't that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can't help but sit there and think, well, shit, at some point it's got to be my turn, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been thinking that nonstop ever since Jack got his ring. Absolutely. It's like, come on, man. Let's do it. Let's do it, Red Sox. Let's do it.
Is it
spend
jealousy
that money
a little bit, even though spend that money, even though like those are your boys? Is it a little bit like, God dang it, I can't be like you want to be a part of their club?
I'm not jealous. Like I'm so happy for both of them. They have World Series rings. Like just to know that like your best friends have World Series rings is pretty freaking cool. But I want to have a World Series ring, at least one. I think that's any major league player's goal, right? Ultimate goal. You want to win the World Series. So, um, yeah, maybe a little jealous.
It's okay. It's not, sometimes jealousy is okay, I think. Like healthy. I think that's healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, both those guys are free agents. Just saying.
Yes.
Yeah. How's that going?
I don't know. It's not my business.
So you don't say, hey, listen, I didn't get to pitch there last year, but Boston frickin' they love their Red Sox. And God dang it, man, we could use you. You're not
Oh
saying
yeah,
that to
no,
either one of those dudes?
no, I mean, I can input. Honestly, I gotta talk to Jack. I gotta reach out to Jack because I know that how busy he is. Like he won the World Series, he's got marketing deals out the ass. Like, he's got the Erewhon shake. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So I've been waiting to talk to him. I want to hear like the whole story of how the World Series went and everything. I want to give him some time to do all that and before like he's hearing from me. But yeah, I mean I've talked to Max and I've obviously made the case for Boston, but at the end of the day, like you gotta pay the guy. Max deserves a gigantic mega contract that's worth $1 bajillion. So that's what needs to happen. We'll see how that goes.
Do you talk to the Red Sox personnel because you know those guys both so well? You're like, hey, listen, this is what they would bring to our franchise that could help us get back into this thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How's that go?
I think I don't know, man. I don't want to get into like crazy details. Like this is
okay, but I mean,
this is
I get it. It's business, but you want to improve your team too. So I mean, there's nothing
of
wrong with
course.
that.
Yeah, of course. You get a top starting pitcher. It's that's massive in my opinion. Now, different front offices have different philosophies on how they want to spend their money. But as a player and as a starting pitcher, like I'd like to think I know good starting pitching pretty well, and those two guys are some of the best on the market. So, I think that any team would be lucky to have them. It'd be great if our team had them.
Listen to you little giggle at the end.
Attention, attention. Grab your favorite team's jersey, some snacks, and head to the couch for another Sunday of action-packed football. And get even closer to the action each Sunday with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you use promo code ROSE. And if your sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. So download DraftKings Sportsbook app now, and new customers use promo code ROSE and bet $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's promo code ROSE only at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
And with Boston, I made the point on a recent episode of Baseball Today. We asked the question, which team needs to kind of get off its ass and get going this offseason? And I said your team because they're only paying 4 guys next year substantial money. It's yourself, Story, Devers, and somebody else you're paying. But they have got a couple of guys who are brilliant talents, but first-year arbitration guys. Duran, I don't know if they're trying to work on new deals. But whatever. If they want to just go the arbitration route, they're not going to pay him that much. There's some pre-arb guys who are very good on your team. Abreu, Connor Wong, all these guys. So there's a lot of controlled money. Like Boston should go put its big boy pants on and get back in this thing. Don't you guys have those discussions as teammates a little bit?
Yeah, and I agree with you. And I think that at least based on my feeling, what I'm observing, I think we're going to do that. So that will be really beneficial to us for sure.
Who's the guy that really impressed you last year? Just watching him play, who's the young guy who you were like, man, did not know he had it in him, but really impressive?
Duran, for sure. He is ultra competitive. I think that there's something about his desire to play every day that I connected with because I have a desire to take the ball every fifth day. Now my job's way easier than his. I have the best job in the big leagues as starting pitcher, but I connected with that, the desire to be available and to play every single day. I find very impressive, especially in today's age of baseball where everyone's getting hurt all the time. That availability, the desire to play at the highest level consistently. I think sometimes he can be a little too hard on himself, but that comes with, everyone's got different personalities, and but he's a very incredible player, and he's going to be for a very long time. I think, last year was his breakout. So I look forward to seeing him continue to improve in different areas of his game, but he has such a good base to work off of.
Yeah, he was freaking awesome. I mean,
yeah,
just everything. Pop, running, defense, triples, just everything about him was – I would be shocked if they don't try to extend him soon. Like, they would be smart. I don't think it's too late because he's only entering the first-year arbitration, but if they're going to do it, they damn well better do it soon, or they're either going to pay a substantial increase because he's closer to free agency, or he's going to walk. And those are two things I know Red Sox fans and his teammates don't want to see happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Starting pitching. There were times this year as I watched the playoffs, which I loved, that it just frustrated the hell out of me that guys would pitch 3 innings and pitch well, and now we're moving on to the bullpen. I don't think it's great for the game, and I also don't agree with it, because if a guy pitches well and gets 9 outs or 10 outs, you are asking 6 or 7 guys to be at the top of their game the rest of the day.
Do you want me to explain? Okay, you just described my philosophy on the whole situation.
Okay,
that is literally how I feel. When you have a guy that's doing well, I think you should try and ride him as long as possible, because it lowers the chance of bringing in a reliever that just doesn't have it that day. Mm-hmm. If you only have 2 or 3 relievers pitching that day, there's less chance of a blow-up inning. If you have 5, 6 relievers pitching that day, now you're asked. You put it well. Like, you're asking many innings, many outs from multiple different players, and you got to bet that they all have it that day. Sometimes a pitcher just doesn't have it that day. As hard as he trains, as consistent as he is, like, sometimes the ball's just not going where it needs to be going. Sometimes it's just a little flat. And you can get into some trouble and get hit around, and next thing you know, it's a 4-run inning. If you have less relievers pitching, there's less chance of that happening. So if you have a starter that's doing solid, I think you should try and ride him as long as you can. I'm biased. I'm a starting pitcher that wants to throw a lot of innings, but that's my take on it. And then there's another side to it too, where you are saving bullets of the guys in the bullpen, which are completely overworked all of the time. Yeah, that's one of the big reasons I like taking the ball and going as deep as I can possibly go every start, because it's so important to give those relievers rest.
Yeah, I was amazed that Detroit and Cleveland got as far as they did, to be honest with you, because it was Skubal and then kind of pray the rest of the week. Montero.
They have nasty pitchers in the bullpen, though.
They do, but you can't. At some point, it's going to catch up with them. You know this. I've walked into clubhouses. There are relievers that can barely lift their arms above their shoulders in August. Mm-hmm. And so,
yeah, the Chris Martin puts it really well. They're the janitors of the team.
I love that.
They do so much work that is really important, but they're so underappreciated.
Wow.
The closer gets glory,
Mm-hmm.
but the closer also gets obliterated when he doesn't do his job that night. Middle relievers, man, like so hugely important, but they get no like if like a middle reliever goes in and it's like a 2-run game and they throw like 1 inning of like 1, 2, 3, no one's talking about that. No one gives a shit at all.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, this guy had a nice 1, 2, 3 inning in the 7th in a 1-run ball game. No one cares. They talk about how the starter went 6-2, and then they talk about how the closer closed it out. Like the guy that threw the 7th, the guy that threw the 8th, like no one's like, obviously we are, as the players, we're like patting them on the back and stuff, but like you don't see like the reporters and you don't see like the fans like, going crazy over that performance, but it's like so crucial for winning that ball game.
Well, you just finished 11% of the game. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big, big deal.
So I think relievers are so undervalued and appreciated in this league, but they're being asked to do more and more and more and more work, especially in the playoffs.
And by the way, we're asking them to do it when they're pre-arb and arbitration, and God knows what that's doing to the career expectancy of guys. The team can just say, oh, we'll just get another one. We'll develop another guy who's been developing a pitch at driveline and throws 97, so we'll just get another guy.
Yeah, you're very in tune with the state of baseball right now.
I watch a little bit of this.
Yeah.
By the way, can we just get rid of this mockery? Next week is awards week, and the Cy Young's going to be handed out, most likely to Chris Sale and Tarek Skubal, who were both fantastic. Emmanuel Clase, I know people are going to have a hard time getting past what the Yankees did to him, and I certainly understand that. But his season was on par with Dennis Eckersley's, who won not only the Cy Young, but the MVP, I believe, in 92. Can we just call this what it is? It is a starting pitcher award. Let's not even make relievers eligible, because he had such a phenomenal year. Not that Skubal didn't. And based on what he meant to a Cleveland team where they won by reversing their pitching importance, like the most important pitcher pitched the 9th. He wasn't one of the starting pitchers. He was the guy that pitched the 9th, and then they worked forward. Like, let's just call this what it is.
really fell for him that series, man. I felt for you too. I mean, that sucks, but that's a tough time. Like I was saying earlier, it's a tough time to not have it. Like you could see his slider was just not doing what it usually does. So the Yankees kind of keyed in on that, I think. But yeah, as far as the awards, like they have a reliever of the year. I know, they do, because Liam won that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, call it would you like create like a Cy Young for relievers as well? Like,
no, well, you can have the Rolaids Relief Man Award or whoever sponsors it these days, and we'll call it what it is, because you're not going to win it. Everybody, which is bizarre in today's game, but that's what it is.
Well,
Starting pitcher award.
Maybe if you didn't have starters that had such incredible, ridiculous seasons like Chris Sale and Skubal, then I guess American League, right? Like, I don't know their numbers off the top of my head. I know Clase's are just bonkers, ridiculous.
Right.
But Skubal's numbers are crazy too, right?
Both of them. I'm not saying he's not justified in it, but I think we just call it what it is, which is, I'm fine with that.
Cy Young starting pitcher award. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Cy Young starting pitching award. It's that simple.
Yeah, but Clase is he's going to have Cy Young votes. Like,
he'll finish second, I think.
Yeah, which is, that's a big deal too, as far as like money making potential.
Although he's already signed an extension. He made $2.5 million this year. 2.5.
Oof. Damn.
Did you just go oof?
Yeah, that sucks.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Netflix show is coming out sometime, I think, after the new year. So,
it's like April. I don't know, something like that.
Okay. How was the experience?
I thought it was cool. Everyone has their own opinions, many baseball players, which I'm sure you've talked to many over the years, like they like to keep their private life private. They're not interested, which is fair and fine. There's guys that were more open to it. I was one of them. Like I would do whatever, talk about whatever. It's all good. Um, yeah. So I think that it will be very interesting. I think it will be positive. I think it will be like kind of a good peek and look into, what it's like as a baseball player. More slice of life stuff as well, like seeing, all those types of documentaries are coming out on Netflix. I find them all fascinating. You got the quarterback one, the wide receiver one. You got
NBA.
Oh, the NBA one just came out. I haven't watched that yet. You have the um, now Greg who ran the show. He did Last Chance of You. He did Cheer, and he did the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Sweethearts, I think is what it's called on Netflix. And so you can see a specific style in those documentaries that I think is going to be applied to ours, which I think will be very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I think it will be pretty cool. For sure.
Who do we think is the star that we didn't anticipate being the star? Like, there's always somebody.
Dude.
Oh, you have no idea.
I have no idea.
Hmm.
I think I don't know, because these shows are made on the cutting room floor, right? Like they're made in editing. They're just they're capturing footage all year. I did some stuff. I did some stuff in the house, not this house, but like the spring training house. I did some stuff in the apartment. Stuff with my girlfriend. I did an interview. Like, sometimes we'd be wearing mics at the field if guys felt like it. They'd film stuff all around. But I have no idea. Like, I don't think there's going to be one star. I don't think that's how these shows are. That's not like what it's about. I think that there'll be like multiple guys that are selected as like kind of main characters. Because they were more comfortable with just being around it. So we'll see how that works out.
Are you excited or nervous to see it?
Maybe a little of both.
Yeah. Okay.
What would I be nervous about, though?
I don't know. You never know. Once it leaves your control, you just never know. I trust.
That's true.
I did the hot dog eating contest with the good people from Netflix, so I'm all in on Netflix. I got no problem here.
Yeah, I think that the way I see it is like, even if there's some stuff that is like negative, I mean, that's life though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there are it's not all sunshine and rainbows for everybody all the time. When I did my interview portion, or one of them, I talked about like some of the struggles that I went through, like mentally and emotionally, just like I just did with you, right? I'm kind of an open book about that stuff, so it is what it is. And talking about various other things too, like anxiety. I know that Jarren, that's a huge focus in his life, mental health and spreading awareness around that. I think that that's going to shine through in the television show for sure. So I think they're, even out of like negative moments, it's like human connection, and I think that they'll do a good job with that.
I agree. What's the as we're going to wrap up here soon? What's the thing you're most looking for? Are you allowed to go like on vacation, or do you have to be there? Like
going on vacation next week? Yeah.
Nice. For Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Thanksgiving is going to be here. So Thanksgiving is just going to be me and my girl here, because my parents, they live in upstate New York,
right,
and they're remodeling their house. completely. They're like completely redoing their house. So usually we would do Thanksgiving up there, but we're actually going to do like a later Thanksgiving, like a week later, because it just fits the schedule better. My brother can't get off of work until then. Going to have him come out, so we're going to like celebrate Thanksgiving like a week later. I mean that was I kind of created that because I was like telling my dad like, yo, I'm not like missing out on your Thanksgiving cooking. So like however you want to do it, whatever works for the schedule, like we got to make it happen. But no, for actual Thanksgiving will just be me and Madalena here, just enjoying it, little, chill, just us. But no, the vacation will end before that. It's going to be like 6 or 7 days. We're going out to Hawaii.
Very nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Nice short flight from where you are. What does Pops
Yeah.
do? Is he a turducken guy? What is he?
No, it's like a lot of Italian flair. So we'll do like antipasto, the stuffing recipe. So the only thing I care about is the stuffing of the turkey. And it is a old family recipe, like Northern Italian. It's got like spinach, Italian sausage. It's like one of my favorite things to eat in the world. So I'm like, yo, I can't miss out on that. I need to eat that every year.
I imagine your plate, you might be a double fister when it comes to plates with the size that you are. Like it's far and away you're either in or out. My nephew is out on Thanksgiving meal. I don't get it. I love him dearly, but he's a meathead when it comes to this stuff. I love it, and I get pissed off if there's not enough stuffing. I got to be honest with you. I get pissed off.
Yeah, for at least for my family's Thanksgiving dinners, like all I care about is eating the stuffing.
Yeah.
I'm not a big turkey guy. I like the dark meat, so that I kind of gravitate towards that. But I mean, I could have like a plate like of this much stuffing. That's how good it is.
Yeah, I would do stuffing, and my sister-in-law, Michelle's sister, makes the candied yams. I'm in on those.
That's the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm the size that I am still today. I don't digest it properly. Last thing, did you see Flaherty stumble off the set after the parade?
Yeah, I don't blame him. When I win my World Series, man, I don't care. I'm gonna be so fucked up. Like, I don't give a shit. I know. I'm happy for him. That's wonderful.
Oh my God. Oh, I mean, he almost went right. He almost went backward through the director's chair.
Oral Hershiser saved him there a little bit.
Saved him. Brought him back in. I mean, Oral's got to be in his 60s now. Looks great, but I mean, he's totally saved him. Yeah, because I don't think Nomar was going to be helping him out there much. Oh, that was good luck. Good luck.
Did you see the Red Sox? Did you see the Red Sox documentary thing?
Oh, yeah. I just watched it the other night. I hadn't had a chance to get all caught up on it.
That was great.
Yeah, my guy Millar was the star of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised.
I'm not either. I mean, now I've heard all those stories, of course, but it's...
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very well done. I think that it was interesting. I'm sure they asked Nomar, and he was probably like, fuck that. I ain't doing that. Hell.
I didn't know any of that context at all. Like, I didn't know that that's how it went down. I didn't know they tried to trade him in the offseason. It didn't work out. Then they trade him at the deadline, win the World Series that year. Oh,
dude. So that's when Millar and I became friends. Was that right around that time? He started coming on the Best Damn Sports Show, period, right when he went up to Boston. That was the first time. I think it was he and Todd Walker.
So were you buddies with him when he went on ESPN and like said, we want A-Rod?
He called me afterward. He's like, dude, I'm just looking into a camera, and I know Dan Patrick's asking me questions, but I couldn't quite understand what he was asking me. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. Nobody will pay attention. I was like, oops. Sorry about that.
Damn.
Yeah, that was pretty unreal. Pretty unreal.
So you think Nomar still like carries resentment about that, like to this day?
Yes. Wouldn't Yeah, they snapped an 86-year skid,
Oh,
and he was
yeah.
booted to the side so that, Cabrera could come in and field every 6-3 with ease.
Play defense.
Yeah. I mean, you only missed the greatest comeback ever. I'm sure he's fine with it.
Yeah, damn, dude.
Now, the question is this. He won a ring that year. Do you think he even looks at it?
Oh, yeah, no, that thing's probably just tucked away. Yeah.
Right? He doesn't look at it.
Yeah,
Right?
damn. I don't know. Probably not.
I'll tell you this. So I was covering the World Series for Fox in 2010 when the Rangers and Giants were going at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing you do interviews a couple days before so you could put some pieces together and have some stuff. And I interviewed Benji Molina, who started out the year as the Giants catcher. And then they were like, nah, Buster's got to be it. So you got to go hit the road. And Texas got him. So I remember sitting him down and interviewing him. He was still very close with Buster, and their wives were friends and the whole bit. And, he loved the guys in the organization over there. No ill will. And he was like, Chris, I got to tell you, I'm in good shape either way. I'm getting a ring, regardless how this thing turns out. I was like, oh, good thought on that one. That's pretty good, buddy. Well, this was awesome. I was happy we were able to catch up. I'm thrilled that you're feeling well. I'm happy you got a big smile on your face because I know that this was not easy. It has not been easy, but you're fighting through, which is awesome. And what number are you? I don't even know what number you are. What number are you?
On the team?
Yeah.
54.
Where did we get that from?
So my number was 27 forever.
Right.
You can't wear 27 on the Red Sox.
No, you can't, Carlton Fisk.
Yes. So I multiplied it by 2,
mm-hmm.
and it's 54.
Okay.
And 54, if you put it backwards, is 45, which was Tyler Skaggs' number.
Oh, love that.
So a couple little connections there. I give credit to Madalena for that. She was, when I was trying to think of what number to be, because I knew I couldn't be 27, she's like, well, what about 54? And I'm like, why? And then she explained. And I was like, oh, yeah, I like that.
Wow. That's really
and
good.
You know what's really fucked up? I pick 54. And once, I don't know, I maybe spring training, it became public, like photos of me wearing 54. Max texts me and he's like, hey, nice number. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And, I just multiplied 27 by 2, but whatever. And he's like, dot. And I'm like, why? What's up? And he's like, that's my number, bro.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
That's funny. That is very funny.
I am not a jersey number guy. I don't, if I'm around the team long enough, like I'm obviously going to know everyone's name, but I'm not a jersey number guy. I've never been good with numbers. Math was my worst subject. So I just don't remember like numbers well. I thought Max's number was like 34 or 32 or something. I don't know. Like, I think I said that to him. He was like, bro, that was my number in high school. Like, what are you talking about?
You better be careful.
I've been 54 my whole career. I'm like, dang, dude, I didn't mean to steal your number.
By the way, you better be careful in Boston. You better know everybody's name because there are no names on the back of those home jerseys. So you better figure out it. And if you don't know numbers, then you could be like, hey, bud, good play out there. Nice work. Way to go.
Or I could be like Big Poppy and just call everyone Poppy.
Exactly. Hey, that's what they all do. Millar was the same way. It was, what do you call him? Like Big Man or Buddy or something. I don't know what it was. But, yeah, that's what he did. He walked around MLB Network. He didn't know anybody's name. So he'd just be like, that way, man. Yep. That's okay.
What's up, buddy?
Go have a great time in Hawaii. Hope your dad
Thank you.
delivers with the stuffing at Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Sounds awesome. We'll catch up at some point in the spring,
Let's do it.
Sound? All right.
Sounds great.
Keep growing that thing out. That is luscious. It's impressive.
I appreciate that.
Impressive. impressive. Special shout out to our amazing producer, the one and only Robbie Scirocco, for number 54 in your program, Lucas Giolito. I am Chris Rose. We will see you next time here on the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media.